President Trump has canceled the Singapore summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Trump wrote a letter to Kim, and in part it read, "I was very much looking forward to being there with you. Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting. Therefore, please let this letter serve to represent that the Singapore summit, for the good of both parties, but to the detriment of the world, will not take place."
First of all, it was written badly.
It was written bad, but I mean, it's Donald Trump. He speaks badly. He speaks badly.
But come on now, it's official letter. I'm pretty sure he had help. So whoever helped him did not help him enough.
Yeah.
It was like, it had commas in places that were unnecessary.
But the tone of the letter was very different than we have heard him speak about.
I think he used the word
Kim.
excellency.
He did.
He used the word excellency.
He did. What Trump was talking about there with their most, or I guess with North Korea's most recent statements, early on Thursday, it was the vice minister in the one of the vice ministers in the North Korean foreign ministry, Choe Son Hui, that made some remarks in response to remarks that Vice President Mike Pence made. So first, let's talk about what Mike Pence said. Okay, so this was Mike Pence made these comments on Fox News on Monday. There was some talk about the Libyan model last week, and as the president made clear, this will only end like the Libyan model ended if Kim Jong-un does not make a deal. This is a sovereign nation that we're talking about. This is a nation with nuclear capability. You're going to tell me that it's a fact that we will end up like the Libyan model if we don't come to a deal? In my language, I'd be like, oh, word? Really? Okay.
And
why would I want to meet with you after that? You just said that recently. Why would I want to meet with you?
And then he was the same one who pretty much protested the North Korean national team at the Olympics.
While he was there.
So he's been throwing shade this entire time. And that comment he made about Libya, that was kind of the third fuck up. That was kind of the third misstep on kind of our part, because the first misstep was United States officials talking about Kim Jong-un is afraid,
right?
He was afraid of us,
and so that's why he was coming. He was
coming to the table. And the second thing was the military exercises,
right, with South Korea and the U.S.
South Korea. That's when he kind of pulled out with South Korea, not with us.
Yes.
So it's kind of like
he threatened to pull out with us.
He threatened to pull out with us, but he was like, look, you know what I'm saying? Y'all overstepping. And so
actually this is the fourth, because then after that, it was about coming to the table and with them just unilaterally agreeing to denuclearization. Yeah, so this has been devolving for some time.
So to kind of trying to put it all on North Korea and Kim Jong-un is very disingenuous.
Approaching the summit, it was trying to go, this was a diplomatic approach, right? They were all saying that Kim was actually interested in denuclearization. He was interested in ending the Korean War, just bringing peace to the Korean Peninsula. So if you know that, I guess, diplomacy is working, why would you try to ramp things up? Why would you try to antagonize him with comments like this? Pence is a straight up idiot. Keep using diplomacy. One of the vice ministers of the North Korean foreign ministry, her comments, Choe Son Hui. So in response to Mike Pence's comments, she said that his comments were, quote, unbridled and impudent. She also called Pence a, quote, political dummy, which I would call him that as well. And she said that because he tried to compare Libya to North Korea, because Libya was not as far along in the nuclear capability process as North Korea.
I think that's why we went into North Korea, not North Korea, but Libya so fast.
Exactly.
Because we didn't want to let them get to that point.
That's right. So she also said, and I have this quote, whether the U.S. will meet us at a meeting room or encounter us at nuclear-to-nuclear showdown is entirely dependent upon the decision and behavior of the United States. So that's going right back at Mike Pence and Donald Trump and anybody else that has this kind of language where it's like a threat to North Korea. Like, we're not scared of you. We have nuclear technology. We're not scared. Stop trying to antagonize us at the same time coming to the table in peace talks. It's not going to work like that. We're not interested in that.
And I think the Trump administration and the White House is trying to save face right now, because it was already crumbling. It's not like the White House came and this was kind of on their accord. Mm-hmm. This was like all on them. Like, we made this decision. I was like, nah, it was already crumbling.
Yep.
A month before the summit, and it was apparent to most people, I'm assuming.
Trump probably just wanted to cancel it before North Korea got a chance to cancel it.
But see, that's not how, like, Republicans are seeing it. Like, I was reading some comments from Marco Rubio and Tom Cotton, and they make it out like this move was genius. Because, because North Korea has a history of kind of like not following up, following their promises,
right?
Not being completely genuine about their motive. But I was just like, that's always been the case, though. That's always been the case. If that's been the case, then why even agree to a summit?
The South Korean president, Moon Jae-in, in response to this news about this summit being canceled, he said, quote, "I am very perplexed, and it is very regrettable that the North Korea-U.S. summit will not be held on June 12th when it was scheduled to be held." He also added, quote, "Denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula and the establishment of a permanent peace are historic tasks that can neither be abandoned nor delayed." So imagine how Moon Jae-in feels right now, because it was him that was instrumental in putting this together. He was the key figure trying to bring peace to this region. And he invited Trump to the talks. He invited Trump, like, "Hey, Trump, I have some really nice words for you." "Oh yeah, Trump was instrumental. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and now he gets involved. America gets involved, and right back where we started. It looks like.
Yo, if I was Moon, I'd be mad as a mug. I'd be mad as hell, because look who he had to deal with. Not as far as Trump goes, but he had to deal with Kim Jong-un. Mm-hmm. He had to put effort into kind of trying to repair that relationship.
Yeah.
And that is difficult with somebody like Kim Jong-un.
That was a monumental task. All that needed to happen, understand, we were saying the whole time that there's no way North Korea was interested in unilateral denuclearization. Like, it just did not make sense. I know that was being discussed in the media, but there was no way North Korea was actually interested in that. But they could have still held the talks, because I don't know if that would have been a precondition. I'm certain that America, the United States, the Trump administration wanted that. They wanted a guarantee that North Korea was interested in that. But I don't think that's what it would have taken to actually come to agreement on the summit and actually have it take place. So all the Trump administration had to do was keep talking diplomacy. Stop threatening Kim Jong-un. Stop threatening North Korea, because we're coming to the table. Just let it. Just be cool, man. Just be cool, man.
But do you think that there was some sort of calculation on the part of the United States government or the White House? Do you think they made some sort of calculation and knew that they were not going to be able to get what they wanted out of this? They would have had to have known that. You don't cancel something. You see what I'm saying? If you feel you're going to get what you want, you don't cancel it, regardless of how the other party is acting. Right. You don't cancel it because you don't cancel it for some flimsy reason and saying he's calling us names, or he's pouting, or he's got a bad attitude. That just seems like a very flimsy reason to abandon a very important summit, something so big. Right. So there's got to be something behind it. You think they made a calculation, knowing that they weren't going to come out of the talks looking strong? Yeah, because they were already looking weak. Yeah, based on how Un was responding to threats, they were already looking weak.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't even go on that route in the first place. As soon as Moon Jae-in brought Un to the table, Kim to the table, That's it. Like, ramp down all of your rhetoric. Like, just like be cool. But they couldn't do it. And like all these people that were on social media and like in the media as well, like the corporate media, talking about Trump Trump deserved all this credit. He deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, and he's bringing peace to the region without having done anything. Like, what do you feel now? Like, who's responsible for this crumbling? Who would be responsible for this crumbling? Right. If they said Trump was the key figure in peace talks, like, oh my gosh, there's something that has not happened. Nobody else could get it done. Trump got it done. Now look where we are. Who's at fault?
Not Trump.
Obama.
Hillary Clinton. The deep state is responsible.
Man.
Because like you said, you're kind of suggesting that if people are going to give Trump credit for orchestrating this whole thing, shouldn't they give him the blame for this whole situation falling to pieces?
That's right.